How are we doing, guys? We are back again. Leeds United versus Tottenham, and we've got two fantastic guests joining us tonight. We have got David, the Irish Hotspur. How are you doing, my man? It's been a long time since we've spoken.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while, but no, I'm keeping well, my man. Apart from how bad things have got this season for Spurs, I'm always optimistic. So I'll always keep a smile on my face.
I know, I like that, mate. I rate that a lot. And Matt, how are you doing, man? Matt from the Tottenham blog, of course, who you will have seen on this channel a couple of times on Before the Whistle Blows and on the last opposition preview. How are things, mate?
Yeah, I'm all good, Joe. I was just thinking there, I've been on here enough. I think I deserve my face in that intro, but we'll negotiate off screen. Good to be here. Always good to chat with you, lads.
When you sort out,
let's get it on.
When you sorted out an interview for Fabrizio Romano for us, an exclusive, then we'll put you on we will put you on the intro. That is an
I'd already spoke to Matt privately about that. I'd already spoke to Matt straight as soon as I seen it. We've already spoken about that.
Matt's got a he's a bit like Sam from Fanzone. He's got that contact book, hasn't he? He's got a very good contact book. Very worth a lot of money, that contact book is what I've heard anyway. But
you can buy it if you want. I can do with the money.
I know. We might do. We might well do. But guys, I mean, obviously, since we last spoke, David was obviously on your channel after we lost 3-0 at the start of the year, 2nd of January 2021. What on earth has happened to Tottenham since that day? It's just all fallen to pieces. What's happened, mate?
Yeah, look, things just went sour. What happened is just, look, for me, my opinion on the whole thing is that the players at Tottenham have too much power. Too many of them have been here too long. They ultimately got Mauricio Pochettino sacked, and they ultimately got Mourinho sacked. Now, when you're looking from the outside in at the club, Mauricio Pochettino and Mourinho both can't be bad managers. And that's why we're in the situation now where we are, because no manager really wants to take the Tottenham job right now. They don't want to come in and work under Levy. And they probably, if they do come in, they want assurances that they can clear out 8 or 9 of these deadwood players that have been here far too long. And that's why we're in a situation where we are now with Ryan Mason in charge. Like, to sack Jose Mourinho 6 days before a Carabao Cup final is insane. And then you see the likes of Mason coming in, picking the likes of Harry Winks, who just isn't good enough. And to be honest, I know he actually played in that 3-0 reverse fixture where we won 3-0, and I think he got an assist that day as well. I was quite shocked about. But no, look, we're in a major pickle right now. We need someone like Marcelo Bielsa to come in. You know what I mean? Stick it to Levy, stick it to some of these players. But look, things have gotten very bad at the minute, and with the Super League, our club being involved in that and everything else, it's just not good times to be a Spurs fan. And every Spurs fan is now calling for the owner, even the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust, which I was surprised about. They don't want to meet with Levy. They just want resignations. And that's the first time I've seen that. And look, that could be a bit to do with them, with the board maybe going against them. You know what I mean? Because I've never really seen them take this stance before. But even they've had enough. So hopefully we can get a bit of change at this club, whether it's Enic selling the club or else whether it's them changing their ways and being able to take us, giving us the funds and the players really to take us to the next level, like we were promised when the stadium was built and when the training complex and all was built. And they just haven't done it. And every Spurs fan now, like, look, with Mourinho, there was a massive split in the camp. There's people that hated Mourinho, but like, you never really gave him a chance either. I'll be honest.
Don't know what you're talking about, David. Don't know what you're talking about in terms of hating Mourinho.
No, never ever gave the man a chance. Everything was Mourinho's fault. You know what I mean? Even Dyer running off to the toilet during the game, that was Mourinho's fault. Everything was Mourinho's fault. And now we're a club with no direction, where no manager really wants to come in. So it is what it is at the minute. But look, it could be worse. Could be worse. So if we can salvage this season with top 4 hopes, or even take a UEFA Cup spot out of it, which is not what we wanted when we were top of the league, but if we can salvage the season, I take that, and then get the manager situation and that sorted out in the summer.
Not even Bielsa can polish. Not even Bielsa can polish a turd, Dave. I'm sorry, mate. It's not.
But you know what Bielsa will be able to do, though? He'd be able to come in and, like, look, even if we appointed him and he walked out 2 days later, it'd be great for the fans' cause, because it means we can just go more at the Enic than ever. Because with Bielsa, he's not going to take crap. So even if we did get him in, he would be able to sort out a lot of these players. But at the same time, it's a bit bittersweet, because I actually have a bit of a soft spot for Leeds, because a lot of my family are Leeds, and over in Ireland there's a big Leeds following. So I don't want to be taking your greatest ever manager, but you know, it is what it is.
It would never happen. It would never happen anyway. He wouldn't work under anyone like Levy. Not a cat in hell's chance.
Imagine a documentary like Bielsa and Levy working together. Though it's not happening. There's no way Marcelo Bielsa is working under Daniel Levy unless you change owners and change your whole direction. I just don't see it, to be honest. The thing as well, as daft as it sounds, the fact you're a capital city as well, that won't appeal to, you know, you're in the capital. Like, that doesn't, it's a weird way, that doesn't appeal to Bielsa. He wants to manage, like, in a more of a working class kind of city, and that, like, the history of his jobs and that lot. I was reading this book the other day in terms of that's a big part of it. He wants to be able to, in that kind of sense.
He's a strange individual. He's strange, but he's brilliant.
He's a genius, mate. He's a genius.
All geniuses are a bit mad, aren't they, though? That's the thing. That's what makes them what they are, man. That's why I'm mad.
Yeah, exactly. But, Matt, obviously, you've got the Enic out sign just over your right shoulder there. I mean, did the Super League really speed up this process? I mean, because obviously Enic, in terms of, obviously, when we've had Elena on the channel on Before the Whistle Blows, Elena has been very critical of Enic, and a lot of Tottenham fans, I know, have been critical of Enic because of what's happened on the pitch. But now this Super League's come in, has that just sped up the whole process? And it looks like Enic really are up against it now to stay as custodians of Tottenham.
Absolutely. And look, we've had protests in the last couple of years. We've had fans giving out, but nothing to the scale of what we've seen on social media. The actual protest at the Spurs ground a couple of weeks ago was more embarrassing than what we do on the pitch. But there's more big ones planned. There's more big ones coming up. And there was a lot of fans who were against Enic, but there was some, and I'll admit, I was still kind of on the fence. Like, I wouldn't have had that banner up here before the Super League, but everything, all the kind of defenses that they had, and the reasons you could say, oh, well, maybe they were positive, were just completely wiped off anyone's mind when they went into the Super League. And I feel like it's the same with all the 6 English clubs, barring Chelsea, I suppose, who've managed to turn it around well with being the first team to pull out and now bringing fans into their executive board. I think they'll be on. But there's one Spurs fan I know who still supports Enic, who still likes him, and he's a businessman, which doesn't surprise me one bit. And look, we can sit here and we can talk about Daniel Levy, his business accomplishments. What he has achieved off the pitch at Spurs, to some extent, has been nothing short of an absolute miracle, taking us from what we were when he took over, when it was 15, 20 years ago, to a side now who have one of the best stadiums in the world, have one of the best training facilities in the world, have been able to attract the likes of Jose Mourinho to the club. That is absolutely incredible. But even what he's achieved on the pitch in that regard, I think he's taken away, and he's I suppose minus with, look where we got to a Pochettino in a Champions League final. We were on the pinnacle of something great, and I firmly believe we were on the verge of becoming a European superpower. It mightn't have been for 10, 15, 20 years, but there could have been a couple of years there where, you know, we were right up at the top of the Premier League. I won't say win it every year, because there's no team that's going to do that in England anymore, but we really had a fantastic chance to beat that team. And as soon as there was any sign of regression in that, he packed it in and said, okay, this isn't working, let's go a completely different direction. And this is, I feel like he's going to go back now and bring in a rebuild manager. It could be Graham Potter, it could be Scott Parker. Even looking at the names he's been linked with, the likes of Julian Nagelsmann and Erik ten Hag, they're all rebuild long-term managers. And we had one of those. We had, in my mind, the best in the world. But Levy decided that wasn't working, and he completely changed direction. And he ripped out the soul, the core, the tradition of the football club to bring in Jose Mourinho with the promise of short-term return in the way of trophies and domestic and possibly even European success. And that hasn't worked. And I feel for that change of direction to be worth it, he needs to go with, I wouldn't say another Jose Mourinho, but like an Antonio Conte type of man where there is the opportunity there to get short-term success. But I feel like he's admitting he's made a massive mistake by going back on this. And if he's doing that, I think we as fans have to question, we came second in the 2016-17 season, finished on 86 points. We had the most goals scored, fewest goals conceded. We were so close to Antonio Conte's Chelsea team. That summer, all Pochettino wanted was Jack Grealish for £25 million. And we went 18 months without signing a player. And that is where everything went wrong. He put too much money into the stadium, put too much into everything happening off the pitch, and completely left what was happening on the pitch. And that right now is why we are where we are. And people have said to me, this Spurs fan as well, a good friend of mine, nothing against him, but he said, do you not realise that people are wrong? And I, at the time, everything Daniel Levy was doing throughout this time with Pochettino, I was saying that's a great idea. Even up to the players he brought in, Doherty brought a fantastic signing, Jose, great appointment. And he's saying, I was wrong about it, so why can't Levy be wrong about it? So it's not my job. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I can't be wrong about things.
You don't get paid 200 grand a year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm not the one who needs to know what he's doing, but Daniel Levy clearly doesn't. And I wish to God he did. And I wish I could sit here and say we're the best owners, we're the best board in the world, but we don't. And it is time for them to sell up. I don't think they will, but it's going to be a tough end to their time at the club.
Matt, I get Graham Potter, and maybe it could work. But Scott Parker, really? Does that... I mean... That's crazy for me. And I think it would be such a drop down, regardless of how well you believe Mourinho did. To go from Mourinho to Scott Parker, come on, man. That's just not good. And, I guess I'm going to ask you this now, if just jump in. Like, Harry Kane goes in the summer, then it's only... The only way is down. That's all I can see. I'll come to you, Dave. What do you think? Do you think there's a realistic possibility Kane goes? I think he's going to Man United, I think it's going to happen.
So just quickly on the manager. Look, the same people that were calling for Mourinho sacked and set top four as the bar to sack him are now the same people calling for Harry Potter from Brighton there because of his XG. Now, we've gone from a serial winner, right?
Love it, yes.
No, but we've gone from a serial winner, right, that we didn't back properly, and his squad was declining from the squad he inherited from Pochettino, and it was minus Walker, Rose, Wanyama, and Dembele, four key defensive parts of that team. And that's why you've seen the defensive frailties under Mourinho. You have us fans also have a part to play in that. We were playing a style that we were top of the league. Fans didn't want it no more. He changed it up. Things got a lot worse. And I just think it's madness that we've gone from a serial winner to arguing whether we want 18th or 17th place in the league when top four was the standard that we sacked him. It's absolutely nonsense. In terms of Harry Kane, now with Harry Kane, right? He's the sort of player, if he walks into Daniel Levy this summer, Daniel Levy says, no, you're not going anywhere. I know my man Harry is going to go back down to training pitch and he's going to give it his all till next season or until the next opportunity comes for him to go. He has a longer contract at Tottenham than what Son does. So, in effect, we could be a bit greedy and just say to Harry, look, you're not going anywhere. No matter the price, you're not going anywhere. You're staying. Harry Kane can't do nothing about it. He has to stay at Tottenham, and he is the sort of player that, if I was leaving, that he's just going to go down and put his all in regardless of the situation, whether he's happy or not. So that'll work out in a benefit. The player that we could lose is Son. He's only 2 years left on his contract. So it's more realistic that Son will probably go before Harry Kane.
Can I just add to that and say, sorry, just on the point of Kane maybe leaving, if he wants to go, Spurs fans want him to go.
This is what I'm saying. So if he wants, I was just going to quickly ask you, Matt, if that is the situation, surely you've got to say, do you know what, Harry? Fair play. We're happy for you to go. Do you think?
There's not one Spurs fan that would begrudge that man if he walked out of his football club. If he found some way to terminate his contract and walked out of here for free, not one Spurs fan would begrudge him because he has given the best part of his career, 99% of his prime of his career to this football club. And he's been promised time and time again that this squad will be built around him, that we'll get this manager, we'll get these midfielders. Everything will be put in place around him to make this club successful. And he believed in the projects. He believed in the people that were there. He loved this club so much that he's stuck here. And it's not giving him the return. And this is why it's another reason why I'm looking at potentially bringing in maybe Antonio Conte or or even Christophe Galtier from Lille, something like that, rather than bringing in a rebuild manager. Because I feel if we do bring in a rebuild manager, it's accepting the end of an era for Spurs. And it's an era that had Lloris, that had Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Kane, Son, these incredible players that we have fallen in love with. And it's accepting that era has come to an end, and it's come to an end with no success, with not even a community shield to make it worthwhile. And if we bring in someone, again, like Conte, there's a chance of another 1 or 2 years, or maybe we could get something. But if it is a rebuild manager, Harry Kane does not want to stay at this football club. And I have a terrible feeling that Daniel Levy will force him to stay. And the last thing any Spurs fan wants is Kane walking out of here in 3 years' time, 31 years of age, on a free, hating the club for what they've done to him. I'd rather he leave now loving the club than leave in 3 years hating us. I feel every Spurs fan is the same.
He's approaching that kind of Alan Shearer at Newcastle kind of territory now for me, where you're thinking, if he doesn't go now, like this summer, or in the next sort of 18 months or so, he's probably not going to. He's probably going to be a one club man. And I still think that's possible. But I think if you're going to Harry Kane and Son, because Son for me he's not quite as pivotal as Kane, but he's well up there. He's world class, Son. He'd get into any starting 11 in the world for me. I genuinely do believe that. I think with what he offers in terms of output, goals, and bit of everything, superb player. If you're going to Kane and Son and saying Graham Potter's going to be the next manager, I'm just thinking from their point of view, Scott Parker's going to be the next manager. They're in their prime now. What's Son? 28, Kane 27. They want to be winning trophies. They, if I'm a big club, I'm spending all my money on Kane and Son, to be honest. If I'm being totally, I know it's going to be big money, but you just know how well they work together, that it's going to carry you to titles. So I don't know. I think certainly one of them, if you're bringing in someone like Graham Potter, you can have a massive battle to keep hold of him, really, aren't you?
Yeah. And it's not even just those two players, because like you look at the players we signed the summer before last, Pochettino's last transfer window, Ndombele and Lo Celso, especially Sessegnon and Jack Clark, not to the same level, but Ndombele, Lo Celso, and even the players we signed that January are coming into a club that they had just been to a Champions League final. We had Mauricio Pochettino, we had some of the best players in the world. We were on the up, and things went a bit sour in that couple of months, and all of a sudden we got Jose Mourinho. So that kind of disappointment of what you came into being taken away a bit, you have one of the most successful managers in history. Okay, we buy into this project. And now if they're seeing the regression that this club is making to go from one of the best up-and-coming managers in the world to one of the best managers in the world to Graham Potter, Scott Parker, no disrespect to them. They're good managers in their own right, but they're not the managers that are going to win you trophies.
No.
Scotty Starstruck CV, relegated, promoted, and going soon to be relegated again. And this is the guy we want to come in and manage Tottenham Hotspur and take us to Champions League. We're an absolute shambles. And this is the thing, everyone was making everything a Jose Mourinho issue, which was, look, he's the sort of character, it's very easy to do that with the guy. Make everything a Jose issue. For instance, anytime Vinicius didn't get a game, clear as day, the guy is not good enough, right? But anytime he didn't get a game, why didn't Jose play him? Why didn't Jose play him? Where are them people making noise now that Vinicius is going back in the summer? Why aren't they coming out saying, why aren't we letting him go? He's good enough. Everyone was making everything a Jose Mourinho issue. And the thing is, Jose Mourinho wanted a world-class centre-back. They went and loaned him in Gareth Bale and brought him Joe Rodon. Now, if you don't give the managers the tools to succeed, no manager is ever going to walk into this club and succeed, no matter what. You have to give them the tools and the players they want. You do not bring in Jose Mourinho and give him Joe Rodon. You just don't do it. And this is what every Spurs fan is frustrated about. But, I was saying for months, you can sit here and just keep saying sack Jose just because you hate him, right? But when you look at it, he wasn't given the tools to succeed. What do you expect him to do with no matter, like people saying, he needs to try this player. He tried nearly everybody in that squad, gave everybody a chance, especially the defenders. Not many of them took the opportunities. What can he do? Then when you hear the likes of Moon Boots, which is Eric Dyer, by the way, coming out and saying, my form dipped, but I picked it back up again. It dipped when we were top of the league, when we needed you most. Like, these players at Tottenham just don't get it. Some of them are here way too long. And I was saying for months, it's not just sacking Jose Mourinho. You sacked Jose Mourinho. Like you were saying, is Kane going to stay for Scotty Starstruck or Harry Potter? No. Is Son going to stay for them? No. You know what I mean? So in effect, you're losing a world-class manager, the best striker that there's ever been at Tottenham, which when you sell him, you're going to have to buy in a world-class striker and a centre attacking midfielder to claw back the assists and the goals he brings to this team. So, people saying sell Harry Kane for a rebuild, you're not getting much of a rebuild because you have to buy two quality players to replace him, which will probably leave you about 50 million to go and get the next best centre-back out of the Championship. This club is a shambles right now. And, like everyone was saying, Nagelsmann. Nagelsmann was never coming to Tottenham, ever.
No,
ever.
no.
People were just jumping the gun with Jose Mourinho. And look where we are now,
But David,
just sad.
You talk about people like, obviously, if you're going to get someone else from the league, I'm thinking Tottenham, Kane, Son, and Dembele, Bale in the form he's in. You've still got really good players in that team. Højbjerg, it's a decent team. Ali, if you can get the right manager for Ali, I still think he's a player in there. Ancelotti, someone like that. Why not Ancelotti from Everton? Surely, with the players you've got in that team, if you're trying to keep Kane, Son, Bale, all these players, get someone like Ancelotti. He's a bit more attack-minded than Mourinho, but he's also got that winning mentality, because that's what Tottenham have been missing for forever.
We built the stadium, right? We built the stadium with the magnificent dugouts and the nice little pretty chairs there and everything else, right? To be watching the best managers manage our team from the sideline. Not for little Scotty Parker or Graham Potter to be sitting in the dugout in this brand new stadium. It's an absolute joke. That's not why we built the stadium. People calling for Scotty Parker and Harry Potter just need to stop it. They do. I'm sorry. They need to stop it.
This is brilliant. I get it, though. I get it, man. Like, listen, we're so lucky because we've got Bielsa and Radrazani and stuff. And, yeah, it's just mad hearing it from the other side. I just feel like so lucky right now. Yeah, it's a mad one. So, boys, there's no chance Ryan Mason gets the job, is there?
Well, Daniel Levy's in charge. I wouldn't be surprised if he gave it to his grandmother. Joe, I'll be completely honest with you. The cheapest option for Daniel Levy, he will take it. Honestly, and I'd love Ancelotti. Like I was talking to Oscar a while ago, I said there's 28 different managers that we've been linked to in the last 2 weeks, and not one of them is going to want to come to Spurs because of Daniel Levy and because of Enic. And Daniel Levy is going to take whatever option he can, whatever way he can get this manager, and he say, "Oh, I'll give you everything you want. I'll do this, you'll do that for you." And then when things go wrong, it was his fault. I'll sack him. There's no hope. There's no hope for this club under Daniel Levy at all.
David, I mean, Harry Potter and Scotty Starstruck, that is up there, mate. That is up there with cracking lines, to be fair. But guys, obviously you're going to have to pop off in a second, but can I get a prediction from you guys? Because obviously we've not really even spoken about the game too much. You've just come back with a 4-0 against Paul Heckingbottom's Sheffield United. I mean, are you feeling confident going into this, David? What are you thinking? Leeds, Tottenham, prediction-wise, mate?
Look, I always predict Tottenham to win, no matter the opposition. It could be against City. I always believe. Deluded, I know, but it's the best way to be as a fan. So for me, I'm gonna go 3-0 Tottenham again. Just off your defeat off the back of that 2-0 loss to Brighton and that. I just think with Bielsa's teams, this is just my observation that do tend to fade out towards the end of the season because of how hard he works them.
Dave,
no. You had such a good 23 minutes.
It was such a good...
Being honest, look,
true.
If you beat us, I'll come back here and I'll take everything you have to say.
Yeah,
not
it's
a problem.
Fallacy, man. This is a lie perpetuated by the media that make you believe that we burn out. It is untrue.
Well, all I'm going to say is, right, the season before you got promoted, you burned out. You got promoted, had a break, and then got to play the rest of the game.
He's gone from being brilliant to Karen Carney. He's Karen Carney.
He's kicking off at us here. He's kicking off at us.
Look, like I said, I do have a soft spot for Leeds. I don't really want to say too much bad about them. Even when Leeds were back in the Champions League way back then, I used to love them. They had a lot of Irish players at the club as well. Ian Hart, Gary Kelly, Robbie Keane was there for a while. So, but look, I do think Tottenham are going to do it. I do think we're going to win 3-0. We have to. We have Bale, Kane and Son. We're with an outside chance at top 4. We look after our games. Hopefully other results go our way. So I'm going to go 3-0 Tottenham.
And Matt?
Well, I do want to say I'll brief David before he comes on here again because he's put himself in it there. I wasn't expecting that. Look, I'm going to go for a Spurs win as well. Again, like I said, it could be 4-0 either way, and I wouldn't be surprised with the way these two teams have been going this season. But I go for a 2-1 win for Spurs. And Joe, you better not seal us for tomorrow night. But yeah, 2-1. I'd say Harry Kane in the score sheet. Maybe Bale getting one as well. But I think with the the Champions League just about, and I mean just about, still the tiniest opportunity of us getting in there, I think it'll be enough to carry us over the line.
Okay. Well, before I let you go, fellas,
boys.
I know. It's Spurs are falling apart. How a Tottenham fan can have a go at any other club for falling apart? You do it every season at some point, Tottenham. It happens every single season.
Look, you'll have the last laugh. If you beat us, you can clip it. So you'll have the last laugh.
It's all good fun. It's all good fun. But Matt, I've just been on your channel, actually, mate. Just let us know where we can find you, man.
Yeah, my channel is Matt Hayes Tottenham Blog, as you see it down below me there. I'll have a video coming out tomorrow evening at either 6 or 7. I haven't decided yet, with Oscar previewing this game and getting Oscar's opinion on Leeds season and the Spurs season as well. So please go check that out if you don't mind. And David, let us know where we can find you, mate.
Yeah, not that I'm going to get many after my recent comment there, but look,
you will.
It's at the Irish Hotspur. I'm just me. I just put out my content. If people like it, they like it. So if you do subscribe to it, there's plenty of energy on the channel. So I'm sure you like it, even if you don't like Tottenham.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure you check both out. Great guests. Thank you both so much for coming on, and have a nice evening, boys.
Thanks for having us,
guys. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you, lads. It was a privilege to be asked, and I really do appreciate the opportunity. So thanks, lads.
Thank you very much, mate.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
See you.
That was good, mate. That was a great chat.
Two brilliant guests. I
had David. Honestly, when they beat 3-0, we do. I mean, we are currently searching for our Hal replacement. It's like trying to replace Ben White. The levels, he's hit these levels so high. We've got to find the Hal replacement, because Hal, he's been non-committal. He's been non-committal on his contract so far. So we'll have to wait and see. But
two fantastic guests, though. Yeah, great guests.
No, they complement each other really well, don't they? They do complement each other really well.
Like me and you, mate. Like me and you.
There you go, man. But he's funny. He is funny. But mate, I mean, look, Tottenham. Ryan Mason's took charge. Would you say, going into this game, you're more confident with Ryan Mason in charge or Jose Mourinho in charge? What do you think is the better scenario for us?
For us, and I know we're on the back of a poor result, and they've just beaten Sheffield United 4-0, and I guess if Mourinho's in charge, they still win the game, but it might be 2-0. It might be 2-1. It might be a little bit more cagey. But as a Leeds United fan, I am much more confident going up against Ryan Mason's Tottenham than I am a Jose Mourinho team. I think we spoke about that Tottenham game for weeks prior to it even happening. Especially when Spurs were absolutely flying. I remember Son scoring against Arsenal, and I was thinking, when we play these, we are going to get battered. Okay, their form dropped a little bit, but Mourinho is really the perfect kind of foil for a Bielsa side. I still am worried, and the reason I'm worried is because we are battered and bruised at the minute. The squad's very threadbare at the minute. The depth isn't quite there, and I am still worried about the game, but I am more positive up against Ryan Mason's Spurs than I am a Jose Mourinho Spurs. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, it's two ways of looking at it, really. I think, obviously, Tottenham was speaking to Matt on Matt's channel, and you were saying that they're looking to press a lot more than what they did under Mourinho. They've got Son, Ali, Bale all working pretty hard off the ball, Kane doing what Kane does, and they're a lot more progressive in that lot. So it's interesting from that point of view. I think, obviously, having Phillips missing, potentially likely Phillips missing is an absolute hammer blow, especially if Ndombele plays, because I can just see Ndombele just running just straight at us, kind of thing. And
look what Basuma and Ben White did at the weekend. Ben White was phenomenal. I said
a bus through it, the team.
Basuma's unbelievable, but the Tottenham players are up there, aren't they, with that level, So Calvin's massive loss. I know I watched a bit of your post-match, and I know I've heard a few people praise Robin Koch, but I can't remember him passing a ball in that first half.
No, it's just constantly giving it away. Yeah. But I thought defensively, he put himself about. He did that, but that's not enough. If you're replacing Calvin, you've got to make your passes. You've got to be comfortable on the ball. You can't just give the ball away. It's in those areas as well, in your own half of the pitch. Because if you give the ball away against Son, Bale in this form, because let's not forget, Bale in 2021 is one of the informed players in the whole league in terms of the goals he's got. He's been, you see the goals he scored against Sheffield United, the quality of the finishes, and Son, you give him a one-on-one chance, he buries it. Yeah. Kane just is here, there, and everywhere. He creates, he scores. He's just unbelievable. So I don't know what you think, mate, but I think Salah, Mane, Firmino has dropped off a little bit in terms of when you talk about the best front three. I think last year you're saying no. There's no question.
Season by told, haven't they? Even though Salah's got numbers.
Mane, Firmino have dropped off. Salah's still Salah, but for me, Kane, Bale, Son is the best front three in the league. I would genuinely, I think if you want a goal, I seriously do. I don't think there's a better front three in terms of goals. Just pure goal scoring.
I seen Ought to Know Better podcast, actually. They were chatting about this. Who would you rather have, City front three or Tottenham? And it'd be Tottenham all day. But as a unit going forward, I'd rather have City, if that makes sense. But on an individual basis. Yeah. There's more to it. So if you put on paper, like I think they'd said Jesus, Foden and Mahrez versus Son, Kane. I'm still taking Son, Kane, Bale.
Yeah,
it's just
of course.
As a unit, City are better, if that makes sense. But them three individually are unbelievable, and if they're on it, then we're in for a tough afternoon. And it, I was thinking of Europe a couple of weeks back, but obviously that loss against Brighton proper gazumped that. But now as well, I want us to finish above Villa and Arsenal, but I even look at this Tottenham game now, and it's going to be tough for us because of the personnel that's out, mate. Even Costa, I'm bemoaning the loss of Costa. Who'd have thought that? But I think even him being out now is a loss. Raphinha's out. KP's out. Rodrigo, no disrespect against Brighton, was woeful. He came on.
Very disappointed with Rodrigo.
He just chased Ben White. It was like he'd come on and goes, I've just been told to run after Ben White. Because every time Ben White, it was just Rodrigo behind him like that. I was like, that was his thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know I hadn't had a chance to voice this, but what was Bielsa doing playing Dallas at right wing?
That was... me and Chris must have spent the whole first half thinking, what system are we playing here? Is Jack Harrison right wing? Who's playing the right wing here? There's no way Dallas is playing right wing. And then as the game went on, it was like, hang on a minute. We were playing Dallas right wing to try and replace... I know Dallas is a utility man, but he's not Raphinha. You got to play. I mean, Raphinha is such a... For me, me and Phil had a bit of not an argument. The comments made more of it than what it actually was. But I actually personally think Raphinha is the most important player in this team. And Calvin is probably second. I think those two, there's no doubt about it after that game. They are clearly... I'd still say Raphinha purely because I think Harrison and Bamford's form at the minute, I don't see either of them carrying us the way Raphinha can.
Yeah, we win games though without Raphinha.
Do we though? This first half of the season we did, but this second half of the season, has had to make the difference a couple of times. One of those tight games, Fulham away, Raphinha gets that goal, Sheffield United at home, Raphinha does that bit of skill and sets up, an absolute sitter for Harrison. I think it's close. I think there's arguments both ways. I think defensively, you can tell when Phillips isn't playing. You can spot it from a mile off. Honestly, you could put a blindfold on and you can tell.
Look at the Man United game. Phillips marked one of the best midfielders in world football out of the game. It was even more glaring the fact that against Roma, he got 2 goals, 2 assists, and he was unbelievable. He ran the show against Roma.
Yeah.
And then when he's out of the side, no disrespect to Ben White or Basuma, but they ain't on Bruno Fernandez's level, and they were able to run the show. Basuma was definitely,
I thought Trossard was absolutely.
To be fair, Oscar, they could have beat us 4 or 5-0.
Yeah, if Morpay could finish. If Morpay could finish, if he had a better...
Trossard, Welbeck, chances.
I'll tell you what, Welbeck, that's the best game I've seen Danny Welbeck have since he was getting in the England squad. Honestly, I was watching him and thinking, that goal he scored, look,
Yeah,
Pascal, she's got to do better, but it all comes from that touch, and I'm thinking, I mean, what would you, obviously we're going to discuss on the big match preview, but do you expect Cooper to come in now for Pascal because of that error, or do you think he was going to come in anyway for this game?
He comes in anyway. And I think maybe he should. We need a little bit of experience now against this Spurs side. Bit all over against Brighton, not a great performance. Get your captain back in the side. I think he was going to get brought back in anyway because he's the captain and Bielsa always relies on him, you know. And we've seen that before. So I think he will come back in. Paveda's going to get his first start at right.
Might do it this right.
I would hope, because surely Bielsa won't go with that same lineup.
No,
surely
I can't see it.
I mean, Click
can't.
Broken, mate.
I would. This is hard to say, but I would. If you're asking me, would I rather risk Pablo or risk Click in this game? I'm saying Pablo. I think Pablo, you know, in terms of he can still create. I mean, obviously, in terms of pressing, intensity, and giving the ball away from time to time, Pablo is doing a lot of that when he's on the pitch, but he still can create. We've seen it against that Newcastle game earlier in the season, couple of games early doors. He is still in that kind of sense. I think we do need more creativity through the middle of the pitch. I know Rodrigo was terrible against Brighton. He was playing in his best position. He came on for Bamford. It was a perfect scenario for him. You know, we had Harris on one side. You know, this is what we bought Rodrigo for, was in a game like that, to bring him on, Spanish international, experienced, up against someone like Ben White, get runs in behind him, stretch the pitch a little bit. He just did nothing, Rodrigo. Yeah. So it's despite his performance on against Brighton, I'd probably be tempted to put Rodrigo in midfield just to get a little bit more from that, you know, because we're not getting anything from the wide areas other than Harrison for me. I don't think Paveda, I think there's a talent there. There's a talent, but he's not creating, is he? He's not. The end product is still way off, isn't it?
He looks flashy, and a lot of people will watch it and go, "I does stuff. He's doing bits," but his decision making and final ball's just not there.
No, it's not at all. Not at the minute, anyway. It's so I think we need more. If we're going to play Paveda on the right, I think you need more in the midfield. I think Dallas, Roberts, Koch. I think we need. It's hard though, isn't it? Because obviously Dallas didn't play midfield; he played right wing. Roberts has done okay off the ball for me. I think he's actually done really well off the ball, but he's not offering enough on it, kind of thing. He's not.
I think what it shows us as well, Oscar, is just how much Bielsa is managing to squeeze out of this squad of players. Because the season's been amazing. Regardless of what happens in this last four, it will still be amazing. I'm still buzzing. But Brighton showed us at the weekend just how much lack of depth there is. Look, I don't want to think, but Robert's probably not going to be starting next season. Click, squad player. It pisses me off when I see people say he's not good enough, he should get rid. Come on. He's a Polish international. He should be in this squad and will be in this squad for me. People saying he's championship level. Come on. But
there's two players I'm looking at before Click, and it's because throughout the time at Leeds, I think Costa for me, I'm looking at now and thinking, it's a shame. Obviously, he's got that injury. It leaves us an option light. But if you'll give me an option of getting another winger in, and then you've got five wingers, for me, it would be Costa who moved on purely because I think Paveda.
We need someone from the left as well, bro. For when Harrison's not on it.
We do. I mean, obviously, there's been talk of Kent again. Ryan Kent's been coming up on the route.
I'm taking him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I think
Oscar.
It's something different, isn't he? He's a right footer.
You know what I'd love, yeah? Ryan Kent, Tagliafico, Tammy Abraham, Rodrigo De Paul. Ugh, that would be beautiful, man. I'm
not a big Tagliafico. I'm not sure on, to be honest. I think his age wise it puts me off a bit. I think he's what 29, 30-ish. I think
27. No,
he doesn't. I just don't.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I get the Barry Douglas vibes about that one where he can't get up the pitch very well. No, he's better. He's better than Barry. But that kind of thing where the hype's massive, but I don't know. I don't think if he's mobile enough for this team, but he'd be better than Alioski. I think
better than Alioski, yeah.
You bring any left back in.
What was he doing for that penalty? The fucking clown.
Alioski, unfortunately, after all the progress he made the last couple of weeks, the top and bottom of it is with Alioski now. You look at 2 out of the last 6 games, Fulham, Brighton, he's almost against Brighton, he didn't single-handedly cost us a game, but he played a big part in us making a terrible start, going 1 down. The game state's all out over the place.
Yeah.
Fulham, he could have cost us a couple of goals there. So you've got to look at it from that point of view and say, that's 2 out of 6 games. Yes, he was brilliant in the other 4, but if your left back is costing you goals in 2 out of the 6 games, 1 out of 3 games, that's not good enough. That's not consistent enough. Yeah, I want 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 players every week. I don't care if he's 9 one week, 4 the next. We've got that's something I think we're lacking a little bit. I think you say about Rodrigo De Paul. I think that's looking, to be honest, from what's being kind of said, that sounds like Inter Milan have got their Conte's got that one in the bag kind of thing. To play alongside Lukaku, but
Phil Hayes always poured water on it anyway. I think it was more the fans and. It's
lost the momentum, hasn't it, from like last summer?
Massively,
but Pereira for me, Pereira from West Brom. I'm looking what he's doing. I think someone like that, we can just excite us a bit.
Place him with Roberts, mate. Oh,
yeah. It's a different kettle of fish, isn't it, in terms of what we can do? And I think that's what you got to look at now in terms of against Tottenham. I don't know what we're going to get from this Leeds team against Tottenham now. I think sometimes when we've been depleted. You've seen some really good performances from this Leeds team. That Leicester game away in January when we had like half the team out. Everyone was playing everywhere. It was all over the place. We won that game. Obviously, Man City, we dug in, won that game. But the other side of it, you look at the quality difference. We're talking Pervader. They've got Bale on the other side of the pitch. That's the thing that we're talking about.
Yeah.
We say they've got Robert. We've got Roberts. They've got Ndombele. In terms of progression and that lot. Roberts is a similar type of player, but Ndombele just does. He's just
come on. He's nowhere near the level, is he?
But it's a similar idea, in terms of what they want to do. Get on the ball and dribble forward and create space. But Ndombele just does that for fun, doesn't he? Roberts unfortunately doesn't do it enough. But I'm still patient with Roberts. I'm still patient. I don't think we should sell him. I think because of his age.
Defensively, they're not great, are they, mate?
No, you can get at them. As the saying goes, you can get at them. Aurier or Doherty on the right back. I think Harrison can get at him. I think Jack's got an opportunity there. I think obviously you look at Alderweireld. I still think's decent, but not quite what he was. Yeah. Dyer is literally Dyer. Regulon is pretty decent.
Regulon's good.
Lloris, though, I think Lloris has got a mistake in him. I really do think Lloris has got a mistake in him. So they're not perfect, this Tottenham team. They are very reliant, if they're going to win this game, on Bale, Son, Kane. If they win this game, it'll be because of one of those 3 players. It's not going to be a case of they've got other players stepping up and doing wonderful things. It is going to be down to one of those players. And ultimately, for me, mate, it's one of those games again where you look at it and you say, we could be brilliant defensively for 90 minutes. Absolutely brilliant. Do everything right in the game. But if Son produces a moment of magic, Kane's on it, Bale's on it, smashes one in for 30 yards, that's what we faced in this game.
Yeah, 100%,
margins, small margins in the game like this. And ultimately, as David said, when we lost 3-0 to Tottenham, it wasn't a 3-0 game. We actually started that game really well. Then Meslier gives the ball away in the middle of the pitch, and it kicks off from there, really. Tottenham can just sit in, counter us. And we were actually well in that game at that point, but it just disappeared from us.
We've had a super chat come in from Robert. It says, looking at the squad we can pick from and the Brighton game, I'd take a draw against Spurs. We come so far in a short time and we'll build on it. I don't know where my head's at. I still want us to go out. I'm at a stage now where it's like we've got 4 games. Not that much is going to change in terms of league position. Go out and try win them. Maybe switch it up. We're probably not going to get that with Bielsa, but is there a shout now to see Geldart? Is there a shout to see Greenwood? Maybe Somerville? I don't think Bielsa will ever do that, but, I think even him, he's probably looking now, seen as in an 11th and fuming. He's like, It wouldn't surprise me, and people won't agree with me, but it wouldn't surprise me if Bielsa was on the same European hype train as me prior to Brighton, because that's the type of guy he is. And people will say, whatever, we're not ready, you're clueless. But you can't tell me Bielsa didn't envisage that. I think he said 10th won't be a good season before in a press conference, something along them lines. So he'll be disappointed, and he'll want to go out and put it right. It's just going to be a tough game, and we'll have to wait and see. And again, I agree with Louis. I'd like to see Cody Drama. I'd like to see all these people. Do you think there's a chance we will, Oscar, or do you just think Bielsa's not going to do it?
I highly doubt it until maybe the last or second to last game of the season. I do think or hope Pablo plays maybe the last 2 games or so. He gets that opportunity to get that proper send-off. But I can't. Maybe off the bench, but I don't see a situation where Drama would start, in this kind of situation. I think the Crawley game played a big part in that, in terms of when obviously Sam Greenwood didn't start that game, did he? But Jack Jenkins obviously played that game. Leaf played that game. Ollie Casey played.
Leaf. That's never happening.
I think now Huggins is actually probably overtaken him in terms of the progression. So it's going to be interesting what happens in the summer in terms of the other 23s, because the problem we've got now is people like Joffrey, Sam Greenwood, Jack Jenkins, Somerville. I don't think they'll want to play another season under 23 football. I think they'll either want to go out on loan or be pushing to get more in this team. So I think it's going to be difficult now in terms of, because I think a lot of the under 23s they tend to play 2 seasons and then get into it maybe in the middle of the second season. They start to progress, like Pascal did, for example. Pascal, first 2 seasons under Bielsa, we hardly knew who he was until he played that game against Barnsley, that game against Cardiff. We hardly knew who he was. So I think they like to get about 40, 50 games under the belts of the 23s to get them into it. And that's the problem. I don't think Gelhardt and Greenwood, Somerville really want to do that. I think Somerville, I don't know if you saw that incident between him and Greenwood in terms of the penalty. Somerville's got, I don't know if there's a bit of an attitude problem potentially with Somerville. Amazing talent, but, in terms of standing in front of Greenwood before he took the penalty, just as we were about to win the title, I don't know about that. I think that's, I think Bielsa looks at something like that and thinks, no, we'll keep him humble. Well, I'm not going to use him off the bench now. I do think that might be the case. I think that might be the case. So, I don't know. I just think, do you not think the same, mate? I think it's going to be very difficult to get those players to play another season of development football. They want to go into the Championship now. But Bielsa won't do that, I don't think. I don't think Mark Jackson will want to do that. I think we'll want to keep progressing them and as they're ready to get into that first team and make the step up.
If they're not, then they'll be loaned out and they'll go. I think Mateus Bogus, Alfie McCalmont, Robbie Gotts, they're going to go this summer. They're going to go. We're going to get a tidy fee for McCalmont the way he's been pulling up trees. Is it Oxford? Is that Oldham? Sorry,
Oldham. I think Gotts is the only one that, because I think Gotts has been probably the best of the 3. Right? Yeah, I think he's had a really good season, actually, to be fair, in two clubs, I think. But again, he's not going to be getting in the squad.
Make it either, and it's disappointing, but it is what it is. That's football. They're aware of that. They want to go get games. They've gone out. They've got games. They're probably going to get a move in the summer. Someone in the Championship might look at McCalmont, maybe. You don't know, do you? And we'll get John H. They did all sign new deals, but that's with a view to money. You don't want to let these young lads go out on loan. And I may be wrong, but I don't think anyone who's gone out on loan comes back next season is in this squad. Nah, I don't think so.
It's not the Bielsa way.
My opinion. No, it's not.
He's never developed Pascal, Meslier, Roberts, Shackleton, any players like that. He's never said to them, "I'll put you out on loan." He wants to keep them in and around the place, get them used to things, get them comfortable in that sense.
He says, doesn't he, like they get more out of staying with me and playing in the under 23s than go playing in to get man's football or whatever, you know. I think it's the same with like Edmondson. He'll go, so is what it is, you know.
There's a big list, to be fair. There's a big list of players who...
Like, if Somerville, Greenwood, Geldat make it, maybe Chris, what about the others? Maybe Jack Jenkins is one that's been mentioned. Maybe he, you know, you just don't know.
I think Ollie Casey is one who I don't think you'll quite make it. I don't think there's... I think Creswell's the better prospect of the two in terms of that centre-back partnership and that lot. I mean, to be fair, you know, the team's become so established now, that 23's team. It's like the same team every single week. You know, you got Jack Jenkins playing the Calvin role. You know what's happening. You know, Gelhardt's going up top. Greenwood's in that 10 role. Somerville's out on the right. Huggins is pushing up off the left. You know what's happening with that under-23s team. So it'll be interesting. But, I mean, we'll probably add to it. We're probably going to add players. You know, we do it every single summer. We had this Somerville, Gelhardt, Greenwood. It's a totally new team, to be fair. A lot of these lads have only been here a year. So we'll probably add more players. And that's the new recruitment method. I mean, one of them's going to be a big hitter. You know, well, at least one of them will go pretty big, I think, out of Gelhardt, Greenwood, Somerville, possibly Jenkins as well. Creswell, I think Creswell looks outstanding in terms of if he's 18 or whatever he is. I honestly, he looks like about 26 in terms of the way he's built. 26, 28. Like the prime of his career is absolute unit, Charlie Creswell. Yeah. So, I think a lot of them will make it. I think we're seeing players make it for Leeds, you know, already in the under 23s. Meslier, Pascal.
Yeah.
You know, we've already seen it. So it's
you just have to, like, for example, like, we all probably thought, and let's be honest, if anyone was going to make it at the time, like, we'd have thought, oh, he prefers Apoe-Halmi to Pascal Stroud. Do you know what I mean? If you remember that time, he was on the bench. So there was loads of people, you know, that were ahead of him. And so... Oh, has Oscar gone? Oscar's gone. Oscar's left us, so it's just me. But look, we are obviously, from a Spurs perspective, there is loads to be concerned about. On Saturday, early kickoff has a chance. Listen, if we're on the end of a hiding, which could happen, guys, because my main concern is it's the squad. It's the squad and the players that are missing. You know, you take someone of Calvin's quality out of this side. We already know we very rarely win games when he's there. You know, when he's not there. We very rarely win games when Calvin's not there. Raphinha's not there. So from a perspective, Saturday early kickoff, it could ruin your weekend. So just get prepared for that. Because it could be easily one of them games. I'm worried. But I'm worried, Oscar, about this game on Saturday. I'm not going to lie.
I am, to be honest. I'm probably the least confident of being out of all the games against the top six, to be honest, purely because the players have got missing. I honestly don't think we lose that Brighton game if Phillips and Raphinha are on the pitch. I think we find a way back into the game. We probably still concede the penalty because of Alioski. Alioski. He's going to make mistakes. We have got some players who are just unreliable in that kind of sense. But I think Phillips, Raphinha, we get that control back into the game at 1-0 down. You've got Raphinha making runs in behind, stretching the pitch a little bit. You know, Ben White, he was so comfortable, wasn't he? He knew every time we went charging up with the ball, he's thinking, what's the worst that can happen? That was almost what it felt like. He was so casual in terms of how he did it. I mean, that's a bit of a concern. You know, you can possibly see Alderweireld doing similar against us, or Ndombele if he plays, Son, you know, all these natural, you know, pretty good dribblers and that lot. So it's a tough game, this, man. It's a really, really tough game. Tottenham, throughout the season, have had some really, really poor performances, but they've been bailed out by Kane and Son because they are the best duo in the whole league. I don't think anything really I can think of in terms of comes close to that duo in terms of pure output. I don't think that I can think of. You could possibly say KDB and Foden, but I think even then, Kane and Son are just pure goals, just absolute. You know, they do the job, and so it's a really tough one. I think obviously Cooper, for that bit of experience against Harry Kane. I think obviously Pascal had a pretty tough game against him at White Hart Lane. He struggled a little bit in that 1v1 against him, but. At the end of the day, Tottenham have got the better quality. I don't think any of us can deny that. Although we are stronger in some areas of the pitch, I would say there are some weaknesses to this Tottenham team. But yeah, we've got to be at our absolute best here. This has got to be a Bielsa masterclass. This has got to be every single player playing to their absolute maximum to win this game today.
We need Bamford, don't we? We need Bamford to...
we need a big one off Bamford.
Big one, because he has dropped off a cliff.
He needs a service.
Service, yeah, there is
service has been...
The thing is, he's not even missing chances.
No, other than Liverpool.
Chances.
Liverpool's the only game I can think of where Bamford's actually like scoring, and it's not the case of he's not making the runs. I just think we're not playing direct enough for me sometimes. In terms of we're playing little passes here, and against Brighton we had 65% possession. Oh, great, and all this lot, but it was Llorente to Pascal to Llorente.
Worst game of the season, wasn't it?
Jack Harrison's delivery was just the worst. It won't be as bad against Tottenham. It cannot be. It was just a lot of players had their worst games of the season. The whole left side was the worst it's been all season. And, the substitutions weren't very effective. Click just isn't on it. I think Click just either needs to have that operational. We need to have some clarity on that situation, because we can't have a situation where Click is half fit going into next season. Otherwise, he's no longer an asset in that sense. So we've got to manage that one carefully, because, he's clearly not right, Click, at the minute. So, but he could start this game. He could well start this game. It's because we have got that much of an injury crisis, mate. But yeah.
As long as Dallas doesn't start right wing, I'm okay.
That's it. As long as Dallas doesn't play right wing.
Yeah, just start Paveda, start Somerville. Don't shoe on the players in that know the system more and you rely on more, because it just didn't work. I don't know, maybe Bielsa was a bit too methodical in his thinking, and I need Click, because Click will know like the back of his hand, what's expected of him. So will Dallas, etc. So he probably sees it more as being able to rely on these pros and rely on these individuals to go in. But I'd rather, I hate to say it, but I'm not a massive fan of Paveda.
No, that's fair.
It can be, it's a bit frustrating for me, but,
I'm waiting for you to read this. I'm waiting for you to read this.
Yeah, he's a mega D.
Fluky season.
He said earlier on he agrees with me. It's first time ever. It's not fluky. Listen, not fluky to get, 14 goals in the Premier League. Come on.
They all came off his shin. They all came off his backside, didn't they?
I tell you, Richard, go back and watch his performance against Aston Villa. Don't tell me that's about fluke. It might not be all the time, but I remember when he put an hat-trick past us for Borough. He just had one of them games. Do you remember?
He's got it in him. I mean, look, 14 goals. I honestly think if you're looking at, in terms of strikers making it's not his debut season, because obviously he's played in this league before, but in proper season where he's actually playing regular football in the Premier League. 14 goals. Yeah, he's missed a few chances. Yeah, there's certain bits of his finishing he needs to improve. I mean, his heading's just not great, is it? It is pretty poor in that kind of sense. But everything else about his play, in terms of his link-up play, I mean, 7 assists as well. I think he's got as well. The 14 goals is 7 or 8 assists. So that's not actually that far off what Kane's managed. So I don't know how anyone can have a go at Bamford. When you see what Rodrigo's doing.
Let me just caveat what I was saying on Paveda as well. I'm just saying at the moment, there is no... Yeah, exactly. There is no doubt that there is something there. But you've also got to remember, he's moved around a lot of clubs. A lot of clubs.
Has he? I thought he's only played at City, hasn't he? Or
no, he was at Brentford.
Was he? In Paveda?
Yeah.
Never knew that. I thought he was...
Yeah, I think he was at Barca, bro.
Really? I'm going to have a quick Google of this.
I'm going to do it now. Just bear me one moment.
I know he's from up near that end neck of the woods, isn't he? He's from London, isn't he? I think, but I didn't know he. Are you right?
So
Chelsea,
Arsenal, Barca, Brentford, City.
Blimey.
So
that's his youth career as well. He's a journeyman in his own youth career. This is mad.
But this is what I'm saying, though. he's been to a hell of a lot of clubs, is what I'm saying, in such a young age. And I know he's still young. And
Not bad clubs, though, we must point out.
No, that's what I mean.
Quite a good CV,
If
that,
someone says to me, someone who don't know Leeds and don't know Pavetta, and they go, "Oh, who's this Pavetta kid?" I'll go, "Yo, bro, he played for Barca, City, he played for Brentford, he played for Chelsea, he played some top clubs." Straight away, you go, yo. But there's also a reason he's moved on from these clubs as well.
Yeah, but Phil will be having a go at you now on the big match preview because everyone's made the same contribution according to Phil on Saturday. That was what Phil was trying to say. When I was saying that Costa's not made the same contribution as Raphinha, it was like, no, the comments were interesting on that. It was. I had to bite my tongue a couple of times. I think Phil probably had to do the same thing.
Well, there's no way Costa's had the same output as bloody Raphinha. That's a fact.
Well, he was saying we've got to give him equal praise and all this lot. I'm thinking, no, you're okay there, Phil. You're okay. But yeah, mate, I don't know if we've got anything else to discuss.
No, I'm just really nervous. Nervous for the fixture.
But we shouldn't be, though, should we? Because it's 4 games to go.
Oh, yeah.
Probably the lowest we're going to finish is, 12th? Because Palace aren't going to catch us.
Wolves aren't going to catch us. I think 11th. I don't think Wolves...
Are they on 38?
Yeah, there's a little gap there. I don't think they've got enough to catch us. They haven't. I think the lowest we'll finish for me is 11th, where we are now. We might end up finishing there. As a fan... I know Europe's out of the grab. You know what frustrated me more? Everton lost as well to Villa, and I was like, if only would have been Brighton, would have been closing that gap. But anyway, my aim now as a fan is to finish above Arsenal and Villa. That might not even happen yet, but that'd be my aim. But look, 11th is an amazing finish. If that's the lowest we will finish. What I hope is that these last 4, with the threadbare squad we've got, you know, we could lose against Burnley because Burnley, you know, they gave us a tough game last time out, and we could be on the end of a spanking at Spurs. Southampton might turn up against us if they're not on the beach, and West Brom, you know, back at Ellen Road, fans in ground, you know, they might fucking turn up. You never know. But what I'm saying is, I just don't want the rhetoric to be Bielsa's team's burnt out with 4 games. You know what I mean? Because that's what it'll be. Oh, we didn't last 4, burnout, and it's bullshit. We're pretty threadbare now as a squad. We're battered, we're bruised. I think we'll see even more injuries. I don't think Raphinha will come back. I think Calvin hopefully will. Rodrigo's up and down fitness wise. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better in terms of squad between these 4 games. And it is only 4 games. We're already safe. Hopefully we'll get a top half finish. It is what it is. This is the thing when you come to the Premier League, Oscar. We're now in a position where it's like, let's just finish the season, buy players now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. It's comfortable,
we're
isn't it?
Done. And I didn't want that. That's why I wanted to chase that European dream, because I didn't want the games to be just like, oh, it don't matter anyway, you know. But that's what happens when you enter the Premier League, you know. But I get, as a Leeds United fan, we will get better and better each season. Are
you saying you miss Luton away? You miss Luton away?
No, I'm not saying that. I mean, do you know what? I am gutted that Sheff Wednesday Derby County is on the same time as when we play.
Oh yeah, what was you watched it?
Oh, it'd have been beautiful.
I can't think of anything. Whatever happens, it's going to be funny.
Your football show just to see, like, there's a realistic possibility they both go down. That'd be fucking amazing.
That's like a kind of like worst. If you wanted to, like, if I was getting tortured, like, it'd be getting tied to a chair. That game's on the TV, and they got like the matchsticks on my eyes. So you got to watch the game, kind of thing. And it's like, oh, that is not for me. That is not for me. That, but
really,
it'll be funny. Whoever goes down, it's going to be funny. It's going to be either Rooney going down. Yeah, if they both go, it's even funnier. So
imagine Rotherham get a win, them 2 draw. They're both gone. Who've Rotherham got in the last game? Let's have a look.
I think it's Cardiff away.
Cardiff away.
Cardiff always ruin it.
That might be the highlight of our watch along. Rotherham scoring. It could be, bro. Score predictions.
No. 1-1. 1-1. It's not a very convincing 1-1, but I'll go 1-1.
No. I'm going to go 2-1 because I always back us to win, but I'm not massively confident. I'm actually less confident about this game than I was when I said we'd beat City. Because I think for us to get a results, we need to play at 90% of our top level, and that's with individuals like Calvin Raphinha and other players being in form. And I just think we're a little. You can't really say we're out of form, can you? Because we've just been 6 games undefeated. But you know what I mean?
Lost a game kind of
thing.
It's mad,
maybe I'm being a bit too thingy, but it's like
3 games without a win, though, mate. Three games without a win.
No, but
shocking.
Listen, Harrison looks a bit off it. Bamford, a bit off it. No KP, no Raphinha, no Costa even. Poveda, jury's still out. Cork in the CDM. Llorente is amazing, but Cooper come back in. Maybe we'll get a bit more solidity. I don't know. 2-1 Leeds. 2-1 Leeds.
Okay.
I went like that then. Yeah. No, that I don't know.
That looked like you were saying 2-1 Tottenham. It still looks like there you go. It looks like you're saying 2-1 Tottenham there.
It's because they're wrong. It's because they're the wrong way around.
It's a Canberra thing, isn't it? It's flips it around on you, isn't it? I can tell that, mate. I can tell that. But there's people in the comments saying, "But we're at home, Joe. We're at home. Joe,
I seen it earlier on, and I was
it was like, Joe, we're at home. Joe, we're at home."
Do you know what it is? Because I was late. I've been mushing about. I was like, I couldn't find an image the other way around, so I thought, quickly, I'll just stick that one on. No one will be asked. And then I came on, and someone went, "Joe, you've got it wrong way around." I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
Was it Mega King Richard by any chance?
No, it wasn't, mate. It wasn't. Someone actually said to him, I said, "Don't worry about the small things, mate." He had my back, whoever it was in the comments.
Right then, guys. But we have got more content tomorrow, guys, as we always do. Saturday game to Friday. Tomorrow, we have got the big match preview. 6 o'clock on the big match preview we're doing?
Yes.
6 o'clock. And then, we're organised, guys. Don't worry, we are organised. 8 o'clock, we have then Goss Before the Whistle Blows. Hal is back again. Please buy his book if you haven't done already.
Do you know what I'm thinking of doing, Oscar, tomorrow? Because do you know what I might do as my backdrop? I might have Hal's book.
Yes.
Should I just come on with Hal's book? Like when he's talking halfway through, right? I'll have it pre-thing and I'll just click it on.
Yes. Or do it, click it on, and then read an extract from the book.
Bang. Yes.
Really embarrass Hal.
Yeah, I'm still not fully
possible
unpacked, so I need to find it, but I've got it somewhere.
Is it conveniently fallen out the delivery
it's
truck?
not come out of the Amazon bag thing yet. I just went, oh, it's Hal's book.
So you don't even know it's the book yet. It might be anything.
No, yeah, it's the book, and then
guys, but we will be back on tomorrow, and obviously Saturday, we have obviously got the game. It's an early kickoff, isn't it? 12:15. Half 12. Sorry, half 12 kickoff. Yeah. So we will be live from 11:30 with your lineup reaction. Joe, you still got the unbeaten run though, mate. I've missed it out last week. You've still got the unbeaten run going. So sound, isn't it?
Unbeaten run?
Because you were 6 unbeaten on all these events.
I was so glad. Do you know what? I was actually glad that I moved on that day because it was horrible.
Horrible. It was a difficult. I mean, I just see the amount of Brighton fans in there, like saying Ben White, he loves the Seagulls and all this lot. I'm thinking, I mean, Ryan's been what's his name? He's been stirring, hasn't he? I don't know if you've seen Ryan.
I didn't because I was on social media blackout, but he actually messaged me privately and said, "I've got your fan base on strings." That's what he said. He sent me a WhatsApp. "I've got your fan base on strings."
He He's never going to do a Sheffield United next season. It's all good banter. It's banter.
It is. That's what it is. But people get triggered. To him, it's genuinely
so wound up about it.
He's like, he actually messaged me and said, "Do you fancy coming on?" And I couldn't, obviously, because I didn't have any Wi-Fi up. But secretly, I was like, "I'm glad," because he'd have absolutely burnt me.
Oh, dear me. Anyway, we'll get him next year. We'll get him next season. But
Brighton is the new London.
There you go. Yeah, we can't get a win in Brighton. There you go. But
who wants to win in Brighton? Fuck them.
Don't want to play in Brighton.
Yeah. When Potter goes to Tottenham, they'll go down. So it's all good.
Harry Potter.
Yeah. What was it? And Starstruck Scott.
Scotty Starstruck.
Oscar, I need you to message him anyway and see if he can come on before the whistle blows tomorrow. It'll be
we'll get him on. We'll get him on.
Yeah.
He's it'd be interesting. We will get him on tomorrow, guys. But we will see you tomorrow anyway. Smash that subscribe button. We have recently hit that 22k mark, 22.1k. Let's get on that road to 22.5k, then
25.
To 25k.
Go big, 25.
Yeah, let's just go big. Let's go big. Let's get to 25k by the end of the week. There you go.
Let's go.
Right, let's go. Right then.